All right, answering questions on the internet. I don't know much about guns. I've never even fired a gun, but I want a gun for home self-defense. Where do I even start? All right. The most generic answer I see people and hear people give, and it just irritates the crap out of me, is go to a gun range and start testing out guns. You can't. If you're a single individual who has no experience and you show up and you're like, I want to start shooting guns, they're not going to let you. It is a self-deletion prevention, is what it is. You have to go with someone, or you have to take a training course, or you have to bring your own firearm. Okay, they're not just going to let you show up and then start picking and choosing and sending rounds down range. Again, it is a self-deletion prevention policy that every range I've ever been to has that same policy. Okay, so you can't just do that. So you can get started by watching videos online. Start watching training videos on how to shoot, and then you got to figure: do you want a pistol? Do you want a rifle? Or do you want a shotgun? Okay. The rifle and the shotgun are excellent home self defense. But if you eventually decide to carry, if you live in a state that allows you to conceal carry, you're not going to be able to take those with you. The pistol is going to be more versatile because I can carry that and I can use that for home self defense. Okay. Plus, honestly, if it's something like a 9 millimeter compared to like your 223, the rounds for training are going to be half the cost. When I buy in bulk, my 223 rounds cost twice as much as my 9 millimeter rounds when I'm buying 1,000 rounds at a time. Okay. So that's going to be a factor. When you're getting to say something like pistol, it also, your size is going to matter. Your strength is going to matter. Me at 6 feet tall and 225, I'm not going to choose necessarily the same weapons platform that my wife at 5'6", 125 is going to choose. Now, my wife is trained and she's pretty good, but she doesn't have the training that I have, and she's not going to necessarily have the same skills developed in that weapon system that I have. So she's going to pick what works for her and what she is good and what she is trained in. Okay. So those are going to be factors. But go online and start watching videos of people reviewing weapons. So say you choose a pistol, so you want to start watching because you want to figure out what the different manufacturers have, and then you want to start figuring out what some of these features are going to be. For example, when you start getting into comps, when you start getting into threaded barrels, and you start getting into suppressors, and you start getting into slide cuts, and how many rounds of ammo, and then the size of the pistol. Do you want a micro? Do you want a compact? Do you want a full size? What can you handle? So there's going to be a lot of variables before you make your first choice. So thoroughly do your research. Don't just like, I'm going to go get this because my buddy said it was the best. Like, I don't know how smart your buddy is and what your buddy knows. Just because they go to the range doesn't mean they're, worth their weight. So do your research first and figure out what you like.